Hey, what's up, guys? It's Christian from South Beach Sports, and we're here to talk about the Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul fight that just went down tonight. And to the surprise of many people, the fight actually went the distance. But to be honest, this didn't really surprise me because Floyd Mayweather is not really a knockout artist, as we would say. Floyd Mayweather is more the type of defensive boxer that waits for the opponent to get tired and then goes in the attack. I mean, as we saw, Logan Paul attacked Floyd Mayweather with a flurry of punches at the end of the first round. He just went at him, but none of the punches were really landing. They were landing on top of the gloves. I mean, Floyd's defense was perfect at that moment. Nothing was getting through. Everything was on the glove. Nothing was hitting Floyd straight on. Nothing hurt Floyd at all. And I think that hurt his gas tank a little bit, because after, when he came up for the second round, I did notice, I was watching the fight, that Logan, he looked a little more fatigued. His legs didn't seem there. His punches seemed a little slower, in my opinion. And this helped out Floyd a lot, as he was able to move his head, slip, pull counter. Obviously, he was still playing more defensive than aggressive. He was playing passive. He had his back towards the ring and blocking all of Logan's attacks, all his shots. But that's what he does. I mean, people think, oh, this guy's a great boxer. He's one of the best of our generation. He's gonna knock him out. No, he's gonna play smart. He's gonna take this fight as if it was a normal fight. I mean, all his fights in his professional career were him just not taking a beating per se, but allow the opponent to gas himself out in the first couple of rounds, and then the last rounds he goes in and starts attacking, goes on the hunt for them, and either wins by decision or gets a knockout, since the opponent is tired or vulnerable. But yeah, so in the second round he was able to slip a lot of the jabs Logan was throwing. He was able to block more shots and be able to move his head out of danger. And also, going back to the last video where we talked about the physical attributes and disabilities between Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather, it was obvious. I mean, Logan is near 40 pounds heavier than him, has a 4-inch reach difference, and 6 inches taller than Floyd. We saw there was advantage in Logan, because when he was throwing the jab, at least he can hold Floyd Mayweather at bay. Compared to that Japanese fighter he went against last time, Floyd just ran into him. He couldn't compete and knocked him out, which is very uncharacteristic of Floyd. But obviously, Floyd Mayweather is one of the best of our generation, and he can easily knock out anyone that is probably his size. But obviously, back to the topic, Logan is 40, almost 50 pounds heavier, because Logan probably came in at a heavier weight on fight night than weigh-ins. It's always how fights work. But anyway, it did lead to his downfall, I also think, because he was a little too heavy. He seemed slow compared to Floyd. Obviously, Floyd is also one of the quickest boxers ever. But it seemed as he got tired, his shots became forced. They became sluggish. It was like almost he was throwing it out there, which led to Floyd's success. He was able to slip and then hit. Right? The stats here show that Mayweather landed 7 out of 14 jabs, 36 out of 96 power shots, and so in total he landed 43 out of 107. That is pretty good efficiency for Floyd Mayweather. That's really good. That's 40%. Meanwhile, Logan Paul went 7 for 73 on jabs, 21 out of 144 power shots, which ends up leading to 28 to 217 total punches thrown. That's a 13% land rate. That just proves how good Floyd Mayweather is at playing defense, moving his head, blocking shots. Those numbers are unheard of. I mean, imagine throwing 100 strikes and only 13 land. Obviously, when you miss and hit nothing, only like hit the air, you whiff, it takes it takes a hit out of your gas tank. You much rather hit the glove or himself as instead of hitting the air. I mean, imagine just all the energy goes nowhere, and just you got to retract all the punch power you had. It's a lot of science behind it. but it makes complete sense. But anyway, I think around round 5, Floyd Mayweather started putting the pressure on Logan Paul, which is very typical of him. Logan was already starting to slow down. His punches were slow. Everything was forced out of Logan. His footwork was not good. It was slow. And he started going on the attack. He was getting good shots off. I mean, obviously, he won that fight. I mean, based off the stats and numbers and how much he landed percentage-wise. He was hitting him pretty good. He got a lot of nice slip uppercuts. His pull counter, obviously, that's his most famous punch, I think, what he's known for. And yeah, this is continuing around to like 6, and then 7. Logan couldn't do it anymore, right? And this is where you probably see all around the internet. It became a hugging match. Logan Paul had to tie up Floyd Mayweather because it was getting out of hand. Logan was already, his gas tank was empty. Floyd was doing just fine. He was still on the attack. So Logan's best way to stay in the fight is not to get knocked out and just tie up Floyd and wait for the fight to end, which he did. Perfect strategy in my opinion. He did fine. That was the best thing he could have done in that situation, because if he would have tried to go toe-to-toe and fight Floyd Mayweather while he was tired, that would have not gone well. That would have been a knockout for sure. Doesn't matter about how much extra he weighs compared to Floyd, that would have been a knockout. Anyway, then it became round 8. Same thing happened, hugging match. Fans probably weren't happy about it, but that's how boxing goes. I mean, if the clinch is there, the ref wasn't doing a great job about the clinch situation. He was kind of just there and letting it go for a little too long. But yeah, that's basically how the fight went. It wasn't very exciting per se, but it wasn't a Logan win. If Logan would have won, it would have been called rigged. People might still call it rigged, but in my opinion, that was a fair fight. Floyd did what he had to do to win. Logan tried his best. Not much different. Not much more we can ask for. I mean, obviously, we all wanted to see a knockout. We all wanted to see that. No one really supports the brothers like that. Obviously, I think Logan is the much better human being than Jake. But obviously, we still want to see a knockout. We pay for knockouts. We don't pay for hugging matches. But at the end of the day, it was quite obvious that Floyd Mayweather won this fight without a doubt. Better striker, better boxer tonight. And yeah, it came out as the winner in my opinion. Everyone else should probably think that as well. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. But obviously, Logan did not win tonight. But yep, thank you guys for watching. This is South Beach Sports. I'm Christian, and see you next time, guys.